Right, okay folks, welcome to another Friday Waffle. Now I know I've been saying for, I don't know, a couple of months that I'm not going to be doing any more Friday Waffles, and you know, that was technically true. I'm not going to do any if I don't have anything to talk about. That's the thing, if I've got questions to talk about, I've got content to talk about, if I've got any own stuff to talk about, then I will continue to make these Friday Waffles. Now, this is going to be an extremely short one because it's 6 minutes past 1 on Friday, and I'm on a half day from work, and I'm heading down to Birmingham in a couple of hours with Ava. We're going to Insomnia, which is, it's a PC kind of gaming festival. It's predominantly sort of PC games, indie gaming. It's big on kind of cosplay and what have you. It's not really my thing, but Ava enjoys it. Ava's going to be cosplaying. I don't know what she's going as. I know she's going as some character with a big machine gun. So I'll try and take a few photographs, and I'll share them in next week's Friday Waffle. So Ava's currently out at the moment, hence the reason I'm in my games room recording this, and that's the reason I tend to do. Most of my waffles, you'll notice, are filmed downstairs, and the reason being is Ava is through that wall and she can hear everything that I say, and whilst I am not exactly slow in coming forwards, I'm not exactly, I don't lack confidence really, but I'm never really overly comfortable talking, just doing a talky video when somebody else is kind of in earshot, even though she's probably got headphones on and can't hear me. But she's actually away at the moment with her mum. She could reappear at any point, so if there's a jump cut, you'll know why it is. So yeah, we're going down to this Insomnia thing. We're going to be leaving, it's just after 1, we're going to be leaving hopefully about 3 o'clock. I reckon it's about 5.5 hours down to Birmingham. We'll probably stop off midway, get something to eat. We're staying at the Birmingham International Airport. No, I'm not. We're staying at the Birmingham Airport Travel Lodge. That's where we always stay. It's about a 10-minute walk. So I will try and take some footage when I'm away tomorrow. I'll take my good camera with me and try and let you see, because it's whilst this my channel is predominantly sort of classic video games, I still do play modern games, and I dare say most people that watch my videos also play modern games, so it's nice to kind of see what's what. So I will take my camera, I will try and do, if I've got enough footage, I'll put out an Insomnia video. If I don't get that much, then I'll probably just tag it on to next week's Friday Waffle. So I'm trying to get this waffle done as quickly as possible. Now, I'm looking at last week's, or the weeks before, excuse me, Milthy Swinbuckle had an absolute War and Peace question. So rather than, I didn't want to do it last week. I think I did a live waffle we planned for. So let's just kick right off with Milthy's question. Now, apologies for not looking at the screen because I've got that over there. Anyway, my apologies again this week for, as the vicar said to the nun, this is going to be another long one. Hey! I've got no question for you this week. Instead, I've dreamt up a little game for you to play. Now, I did say I was going to do some prep, and I haven't done any prep. Perhaps just read the first 2 paragraphs. When you get that opening line, you know it's going to be a beauty, as it is bloody long to be reading out in a waffle. And then anyone wanting to play can read it themselves in their own time. Obviously, if you want to do this, you can look at week, I think it was the 24th of March, and do this yourself. Right, game for next waffle. You're stuck, trapped in an empty room, 50 by 50 foot square, with 20 foot high walls and ceiling, so I'm getting the idea you can't get out. The walls, floor and ceiling are made of solid, thick concrete, and there is no escape. Also, you notice that written on the floor in blood are 2 sets of words. These read, keep the sequence and know your alphabet. As you're wondering what the words mean and how you're going to get out, a voice suddenly sounds out of nowhere and explains your situation. This is what it says. To escape my room, you must survive 4 zombie attacks. The zombies will magically materialise at the opposite side of the room to you. If you manage to survive the brain-eating monstrosities, then you'll be set free. The 4 attacks will happen 5 minutes after the other, and to help you survive, I will tell you the type of enemy you're facing and give you a choice of 6 weapons to deal with them. Anyway, enough blathering on, my zombies are getting hungry. I don't know how he thinks of this. Your weapon choices are explained to you below, and you're told that you're only allowed to pick 1 weapon for each attack, and only for the 3rd attack are you allowed to pick 2 of the weapon choices. Alright, okay, so 1 and then 2. Also, once you've chosen a weapon, you cannot choose it again, and it will vanish once it's been used for one wave of zombies. Weapon choices. A baseball bat inscribed with the number 8. Number 2, a fully loaded 8-chambered gun, complete with 8 bullets, gifted to you personally by my kind self, and inscribed with the number 25. Number 3, a grenade with a 10-second timer that is guaranteed to kill 10 people, or in this case zombies, in a 50 by 50 room square area and inscribed with the number 5. Number 4, an 8-foot long spear inscribed with number 14. Bloody hell. Number 5, an old-fashioned super thick large iron dustbin inscribed with number 1. And number 6, a magic killing dice. When rolled and the numbers 1 to 5 come up, everything apart from you will be killed in the room. However, a 6 is rolled and you will die. Then the zombies are explained below. Bloody hell. Read them and make your choice of weapon to face each wave of attack. First attack wave made by a stereotypical brain-eating zombie. Second wave attack made by a huge muscle-bound zombie, far bigger and tougher than your measly pathetic self. Third attack, a group of 7 zombies. Also remember you can choose 2 weapons that you haven't picked before to deal with these brain munchers. Fourth attack, a group of 17 zombies. And that's it. I could of course give you more time, but that would mean me being nice. Guess what though, I ain't nice. I trip you up every chance I can get. So hurry up, you've got a few minutes to decide what you're going to do. Think it through and then make your choice, for the first zombie will be materialising very soon. Holy shit. Right, so, okay, I can't look at the bottom. Right, so first attack wave is a stereotypical brain-eating zombie. Right, so there's only 1 zombie in attack wave 1. So I think I could kill him with... I think I could kill him with a baseball bat. I've watched enough Walking Dead and Last of Us. Yeah, I'm going to go for a baseball bat. Second attack wave is a muscle-bound zombie. Right, I'm going to jump ahead. Fourth attack wave, there's going to be 17 zombies. So... we're obviously not going to use the magic killing dice, because if that comes up a 6, then I'm dead. I think the fourth one, which is a group of 17, that's going to be... no, the grenade only kills 10. And the fourth attack wave, there's 17. So I think we're going to use... I think we're going to use... Oh, wait a minute. This third attack wave, we can use 2. Why do we want 2? Because there's only 7. So in theory, the third attack wave we could kill using the gun, because it's got 8 bullets. But then there again, do we... Oh, we can't reuse anything. Right, so baseball bat's going to take out number 1. The huge muscle-bound zombie. We're not going to kill him with a dustpan. I think... Is a baseball bat more deadly than an 8-foot long spear? I'm thinking baseball bat for the first wave, kill the one brain-eating zombie. I'm thinking the spear would probably take care of the muscle-bound zombie. The gun would take care of attack wave 3 because there's only 7. And then we've got the... let me think. We've got the grenade that is going to kill 10 of the 17 zombies, and the remaining 7 it's going to have to be the super thick dustpan. Or do we go for the dustpan with it? Yeah, I think we'll go, since the brain-eating zombie in number attack wave 1 is going to be slow and pathetic, I think we could probably get away. We could probably take him out using a dustbin. And then for the... Oh, wait a minute, we can only use... How? Right, wait a minute. The fourth wave is a group of 17 zombies. Now we can only use 1 weapon. Now none of these weapons... The chance of me killing 17 zombies with a baseball bat is probably 0. The same with the spear. Dustpan, forget it. So the only thing that's going to kill all of them would be the magic dice. Right, listen, Milfy, I'm going to right, and that's it. I could of course give you more time, but that would mean me being nice. Guess what though I ain't nice? Right, time's up. A lumbering, moany, smelly, slimy grey zombie materialises out of thin air and starts shuffling his bitey way towards you. Hope you chose well. Number 1, to kill a single zombie, you should have chosen the baseball bat. Now, I did say that one. Yeah, one undead dude ain't much cop, so I threw bats around the head. Yeah. Yep, there we go. To kill the muscle-bound zombie, you should have chosen the spear. The simple reason being that if the huge smelly got a hold of you, he would literally rip you a new one. So by using the long spear, you can kill him quite easily at distance. So yeah, I've got the first 2 right. Before I go to number 7, I'm going to go for the gun. Next came along the group of zombies. In this case, you were allowed to pick 2 weapons. Ah, good, right, got you. What you should have chosen was the grenade and the iron dustbin. The grenade, of course, can be chucked and would go off killing all the zombies. Though unfortunately it would also kill you. However, if you also picked the iron dustbin, you could chuck the grenade and in the precious few seconds before it went off, put the iron dustbin over yourself to protect yourself from the deadly shrapnel. And lastly came... Yeah, there we go, I've got the last one right. And lastly came the group of 17 zombies. So how the bloody hell would you deal with this bunch of brain-eating filth? Well, unfortunately, you're going to have to use the dice. It's a risk, of course, with you having a 1 in 6 chance of dying. But hey, sometimes in life, you just got to take that risk to push on to the next part of it. So there you go, that's apparently the best way to do it and survive. Oh, by the way, you didn't choose the gun, did you? Surely... No, I didn't choose the gun. No, I did choose the gun. I chose the gun for the 7 zombies. Oh, by the way, you didn't choose a gun, did you? Surely not. No, no, no. You're far too clever to fall for that one. I mean, a gun gifted to you by me of all people. Personally gifted by me. Haha. Only a fool would pick that gun. After all, I gave you it. Me. And as you should know, or at least realise at some point, I'm a massive twat. I stuck you in this room after all and should never be trusted. In fact, I proclaim myself the king of twats. All hail my glorious twattery. Not that there was anything wrong with the gun, of course. Perfectly fine piece of equipment. It's just that the 8 bullets were blank. So there you go. You've won, or have you? Well, I got 75%. You see, with me being an utter rotter, I'm going to now release 50 extremely hungry zombies into the room. That is unless you can give me the one 5-letter word I want to hear. You give me the word and off you go. Those numbers, nah. What word would this be? I hear you ask, guess what? Yeah, you've guessed it. Though not the word. I'm not going to tell you what word I want to hear you say, but I will give you a clue. There's a simple puzzle hidden here, and seeing it as I'm a nice guy, here's a second clue. Was there anything in the text that didn't make sense? Tell you what, I'll give you a few minutes to try and work it out. Go on, mull it over. After all, your very life depends on it. One question, one correct word, that is all I ask, and off you go. And of course, if you have no idea of the word I speak, then I'm afraid, well, how can I put this nicely? Nope, can't think of a polite way to put how you'll have chewed your brain over by 50 dead walking horrors. So now I've got to say, don't worry, and I'm sure you will make a fine addition to my friendly little word. Can I say, Milty, you are absolutely batshit mental, but you know what? Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Can I ask, did you make that up? Or was that something you copy and pasted? Yeah, no, just absolutely fantastic. Right, I just paused it there and I can't remember for the life of me what I was talking about. Yeah, I was talking about Milty. So yeah, listen, thank you very, very much, mate, for taking the time to do that. But let me know, was that your own idea or did you pinch that? Right, I'm going to... how are we doing? Right, 17 minutes. Well, there you go, I managed to irk it for 17 minutes. I'm going to have a quick look at last week's waffle, which is the 30th. Now, I don't know if there's any questions. There we go. Jimmy Tick 74. Great listen on the podcast. Got me through a boring day at work. Thank you, boys. You're very, very welcome, Jimmy. The Jiu-Jitsu Gamer. That's Panther Sensei, Steve. Good lad. We're friends on Facebook. In terms of gradings, I was raised on the panel and set date format. Be ready by a certain date to be graded by instructors who often didn't. In fact, I'm not going to read that out because it's an interesting thing which Steve said, but it's not really, unless you're into martial arts, you're not really going to understand what he's saying. But listen, thanks for the comments, Steve. And yeah, we will me, you and Panther will get on a video, a martial art video. I probably will. I'll put it on the Alan Stewart YouTube channel. Right, here we go. Colin Jones, great opening. I knew what you were doing instantly. Yeah, I was basically taking the piss out of Panther. I was trying to drop in I said I wouldn't mention the Mister, and I was trying to mention it at every point. Good to hear you're bouncing back, Chris. A break is never easy, but it's usually for the best. Son of Sid Show. Yeah, that's a show that's on Panther UK's channel. Such good music. Yesterday, as I type, I built a not Lego model of Titanic on stream with Sid music in the background, and I didn't get a copyright strike. You know what? Lego is one of these things that I just don't get. I don't understand it. When I was a kid, I had Lego, and you would build. It was like random bricks, and you would just you would build like a car or a house. But I don't get the whole a predetermined pack to build like an AT-AT or whatever. The bricks are only used to build this one thing. I don't really get it. I suppose it's a bit like jigsaws. I mean, I do quite like the occasional jigsaw. So I suppose it is a bit like that. It's like a 3D jigsaw. I don't know. I just don't get Lego, but I know lots of people do. I mean, a couple of my mates, they are massively into it, and it's not cheap. I mean, I think for like the Millennium Falcon and what have you, you're talking like hundreds and hundreds of pounds. But I don't know if what you're talking about, Colin. One of my mates, the guy that he's into his Lego. You can get like the unofficial Lego from, I think it's China, and it's like a tenth of the price, and it's just as good. Retro is recreated, for example, emulators, minis, classic is real hardware. That's how I see it. Retro is recreated. No, I mean, because you get I don't see it like that. I mean, people have used this tag retro for, I don't know where does retro begin and where, well, I'm presuming retro begins at the very start, like Pong. Where does retro stop? Retro is a thing that changes depending on your age. For me, retro, whilst I hate the phrase, I would say probably up to maybe PlayStation, and then after that is current. Which is ridiculous when you think the PlayStation is 23 years old, 24 years old, more than that, probably coming up to 30 years old. PlayStation 2 is probably 25 years old. I have a Google Nest Mini and it pisses me off so much I've turned the mic off. It's not the listening that bothers me, it's the way the piss poor it can't understand our accents properly. Well, you are Welsh, Colin, so you need to cut that bit of slack. Yeah. I must admit my Amazon device doesn't seem to have any problems with my voice. Rainbow Islands wouldn't work without the rainbow mechanism. It's so versatile when you get used to it. I'll take your word for it, Colin. I'm not interested. I can't stand the game. We saw Charlie Farr complete Mission Impossible on his last 12-hour stream. It is not as complex. A 12-hour stream? Did he do a 12-hour stream? It's not as complex as it seems. He also completed Prince of Persia for the Amiga on stream recently. That man is an incredible gamer. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Dave is just phenomenal. He's ridiculously good at any game. Nothing wrong with board games with figures. Chess is awesome, but I rarely play these days. I do have a glass set within easy reach. Almost as much of a waffle as a waffle. Nice one, guys. Question for the next waffle. Easter is fast approaching. What are your opinions on this religious time of year and how it's portrayed? You know what, Colin, I don't do religion in any shape or form, and I have got nothing to say about it. I mean, we used to, when we were at school, it was like Jesus pushing the stone away, and that's why it's an Easter egg. But apart from that, I don't do politics or religion at all. For me, it's I was going to say a couple of days of work, but I don't even get a couple of days of work. We get them as flexi, and we can take them any time. So, thank you, Colin. And Colin Thompson, just watching the video, a little catch up. Good stuff as always. Roll on, Son of the Sid Show. Yeah, there will be another Sid Show coming out. Son of the Sid Show coming out. I don't know when. You need to speak to Panther. It is on the agenda. Jiu-Jitsu Gamer, good waffle, gents. Thank you very much, Steve. Charlie's Angel enjoyed Cluedo, Monopoly and Scrabble. I did like a bit of Scrabble. I used to like Monopoly, but the problem is you get people like me who simply buy everything and spoil the game for others. So I've kind of gone off Monopoly a wee bit, but I do like Scrabble. It's funny how in the early days there was Monopoly games, Commodore 64 Monopoly. Completely pointless. Right, I thought we were going to be ending it here. We are looking at Multi Swinbuckle's question from last week, and it's not a War and Peace. We all like to whinge on about how the 90s arcades were pretty much the death of the glorious arcades. My question this week is why, or even why were only a certain type of games being made when during the 80s we got all kinds of crazy stuff? Yeah, that's an interesting point, Milty. I think in the early days, the late 70s, early 80s, it was obviously a brand new cottage industry. there was no there was nothing that had been done before, so people were quite literally making it up as they went along. So that's why you were getting some really, really abstract games, you know. And it's the same with the Commodore 64, and not just arcade Commodore 64. It's the same with the computer games, the early 8-bits. You know, there was all manner of games. I mean, you had stuff like Back to School, Trash Man, this, not the Secret Armour of Interiad. What's the oh bloody hell? What's that one that's not Stealth? What's it called again? I can't remember. The one where you've got to position, you absorb trees. Sentinel, yeah, you've got things like the Sentinel. There was tons and tons and tons of really fresh ideas, and it was probably the same as the arcade. But then I think as the industry started to mature, arcades, arcade owners and producers, etc., not producers, like publishers, developers, they would obviously gauge what games were selling, not so much selling, but what games were taking the most money and what games weren't. And yeah, and it, you know, you need to always understand arcade games were developed purely to make money. You know, yeah, there were a sense of entertainment, but they were there to make money, nothing else. So they would obviously gauge what machines were taking the most amount of money, and I'm presuming, you know, like simplistic looking games like Galaxian and Phoenix and Space Invaders, nobody was interested. Pac-Man, nobody was remotely interested in playing these games in the late 90s, or the early 90s I should say. And it was, the graphics were getting better. I mean, you were getting stuff, I mean, I was going to say Outrun and what have you, they were kind of mid-80s. Yeah, Sega were putting out some incredible arcade games, but people like Capcom, they were putting out things like, I was going to say Gunsmoke, but again that's an 80s game. But I think the 90s, that was when, you know, Street Fighter 2 had a lot to answer for. You know, Street Fighter 2 was a massive, massive game. It was pretty much the blueprint for every other beat 'em up that's come out since then. I mean, even now, I guarantee when I go to Insomnia tomorrow, there's going to be a Street Fighter tournament, and we're talking about 2023. You're talking about 40 years on, and people are still playing Street Fighter. So when Street Fighter came along, Street Fighter 2 I should say came along, all these other companies leapt on the bandwagon, and there was King of Fighters and just so many beat 'em ups. Obviously the 90s, as technology started to get better, polygons became a thing. You got things like Ridge Racer and, you know, Daytona, and then obviously light guns came along. They were the technology. You had things like Virtua Cop 2, yeah, all these kind of things. The 90s, they started to kind of bring out more kind of dedicated, bespoke bits of kind of hardware. So yeah, I think, and it's like now, I mean, we've kind of reached saturation point now, where companies simply will not take any risk at all with a game. They're not going to bring out an original game. Yeah, you'll get indie developers bringing out original games that they're not putting, they've maybe got a couple of guys working on it. But these modern games now, stuff that's any AAA game that comes out now, not even a AAA game, any game that comes out now for like the PlayStation 5 or the Switch, you're talking thousands of people that work in it, and the budgets for these games run into probably tens of millions, probably even more. It wouldn't surprise me if it was even more. So companies now are shit scared to take any sort of gamble. They're not going to bring out a brand new game. So I think that's pretty much the reason. I think when the industry first started, there was everybody in their auntie were making games. You had all these obscure games, different arcade games and what have you. But then when the industry matured, these companies would look to see, right, Street Fighter 2's brought in £1,000 in a week in the arcade. Galaga 98 has brought in £20. Let's get rid of Galaga 28. And I think it's money that's kind of driven it. Money and popularity has driven the industry the way it's gone, and now we've got to a stage where quite simply there's absolutely nothing. And part 2, Milty's question: why do you think that during the 90s and a bit after, the majority of game genres died and the main games getting made were just fighting, brawl, horizontal scrolling, bullet hell type shooters and 3D racing games? Just what I've said there, Milty. Yeah, creativity and imagination and originality seems to have kind of completely dried up. I think it's because, again, it's too much a risk financially for these companies to take the chance of putting out a game and it doesn't sell, and that's why, you know, we're in the position we're in now. Fortunately, there is still a lot of good indie devs who put out some original stuff, but I think as time goes on, I think we're going to see less and less originality, which is absolutely tragic in my opinion. So anyway, listen, Milty and everyone else, thank you so much for taking time to ask me some questions. We're just at the 30-minute point. I'm going to get away because I said I need to get down to Birmingham. I will endeavour to record some footage from Insomnia tomorrow, and I'll get it put up at some point next week. I'm conscious I've not put out many videos this week. I think I put out a couple of tiny little videos. I have got, as I mentioned, did I mention it? And I can't remember. Maybe I didn't. It's a video recorded. It might have not been a live one. I have got about 3 videos that are kind of in the process of getting made. They're maybe 50% made. You will see one of them next week. So anyway, listen guys, until then, I hope you all have a fantastic Friday night, great weekend. I will hopefully see you next week. And as always guys, thank you very, very much for watching.